Number 3. The burglar who sued his victim. Most criminals expect to leave a crime scene with stolen property. Almost nobody expects to leave with a successful lawsuit. Yet that's exactly what happened to a man named Robert Riss. One evening, Riss decided to break into a property that he had absolutely no business entering. According to reports, he climbed onto the roof of a school building in New York. His plan was simple: get inside, steal what he could, and get out before anyone noticed. Unfortunately for him, things didn't go according to plan. While moving across the roof, Riss found an opening and dropped through it. What he didn't realize was that the opening led directly into a gymnasium. Instead of landing a few feet below, he plunged roughly 30 feet onto the hard floor beneath. The fall left him seriously injured. At this point, most people would assume the story ends with the burglar facing consequences for his actions. Instead, the opposite happened. Riss filed a lawsuit. His argument was that the school had failed to properly secure or warn people about the dangerous opening. Imagine being the school administrators for a moment. A man breaks into your property, falls through your roof, and then demands money because he got hurt committing a crime. It sounds absurd. Yet the courts ultimately agreed that the property owner shared some responsibility for the hazardous condition. Riss was awarded damages. The burglar had successfully sued the very people he was trying to steal from. The case sparked outrage and debate across the country. Many people couldn't believe what they were hearing. But as unbelievable as this story sounds, our next lawsuit became so famous that millions of people still misunderstand it today. Number 2. The woman who sued over a cup of coffee. If you've ever heard someone complain about frivolous lawsuits, chances are you've heard this story. The way it's usually told goes something like this. A woman buys coffee, spills it on herself, then sues because the coffee was hot. Sounds ridiculous, right? That's why so many people were shocked when they learned what actually happened. In February 1992, 79-year-old Stella Liebeck purchased a cup of coffee from a McDonald's drive-thru in New Mexico. After receiving her order, she sat in the passenger seat of a parked car and attempted to remove the lid. That's when disaster struck. The coffee spilled directly into her lap. At first glance, it sounds embarrassing, but not life-changing. Then doctors examined her injuries. The coffee had been served at temperatures between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit. The liquid caused third-degree burns across portions of her body. The injuries were so severe that she required skin grafts and extensive medical treatment. For days, she endured excruciating pain. Medical photographs shown during the trial were so graphic that many people found them difficult to look at. Before filing suit, Liebeck simply asked McDonald's to cover her medical expenses. The company refused. That's when the lawsuit began. During the trial, evidence revealed that McDonald's had received hundreds of previous complaints about excessively hot coffee. Jurors were stunned. What many assumed was a silly lawsuit suddenly looked very different. In the end, Stella Liebeck won. The case became one of the most famous lawsuits in American history. Yet, decades later, many people still only know the simplified version of the story. But if you think a coffee lawsuit sounds strange, wait until you hear what happened in our number 1 case. Number 1. The psychic who successfully sued over a broken prediction. Some lawsuits are unusual. Others are downright unbelievable. This one sounds like a comedy sketch, yet it actually happened. In the 1990s, a professional psychic named Uri Geller became involved in a legal battle that quickly grabbed headlines. Geller was famous for claiming paranormal abilities, including bending spoons with his mind and making predictions about future events. Millions of people knew his name. Some believed he possessed extraordinary powers. Others were convinced he was simply an entertainer. Then, a dispute erupted over statements questioning his abilities. Critics publicly challenged whether his powers were genuine. The arguments escalated. Eventually, lawsuits followed. What made the situation so bizarre was the central issue itself. Courts found themselves examining claims involving psychic abilities, predictions, and supernatural powers. Reporters couldn't believe the story. The public couldn't either. How does a courtroom even begin evaluating something like that? Witnesses testified. Evidence was presented. Arguments were made. And despite the unusual nature of the dispute, portions of the legal actions ended favorably for Geller. The case became one of the strangest intersections of law, celebrity, and paranormal claims ever seen. Even today, it remains a reminder that reality can sometimes be stranger than fiction. Because while most people think lawsuits are about straightforward disagreements, these cases prove that sometimes the courtroom becomes the stage for stories so ridiculous that if they weren't documented, almost nobody would believe they happened. If you enjoyed this video and would like to know more history like this, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.